Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to check fresh release from Zvezda. So it's a kit in 1/48 scale which copies a Russian attack helicopter. It's Mi-35M, and in 1/48 scale this should be quite an impressive build. As we can all understand, it is based on previous Mi-24, so now it just develops the overall topic and introduces a bit more modern version. And we have a commercial sample here, so this one was bought with help of your donations, and I would like to say thank you, because without you this review will not be possible. And you can see that box is quite huge, and that also hints at the size of the model. So here is comparison with my hand. We have really beautiful box art, and for those who were searching where is the star on the fuselage, so it is here, it's not hidden anywhere. And kit number is, by the way, 4813. So here on the side you will find some safety information, barcode, and here we have decals map and paints chart so that you can order the necessary paints, be it from Zvezda or Tamiya. On the opposite side you will find also some other kits from this brand. We reviewed them also, you can find it easily on our YouTube channel. And on the opposite side you will find, or on the rear side, you will find also pictures of the finished model, short history note, and some information about the kit. So assembled model will be 44.7 centimeters long, and we have here 373 plastic parts which should turn into this helicopter, and we are going to open it right now, as I said before. So as usual, here is everything sealed with this sticker with Zvezda logo, so not a clear tape, not anything else, it's just Zvezda logo. So if you do not have such sticker, it means that somebody was opening it before you. And here, by the way, inside you will also find some other kits in 1/48 scale. We reviewed them as well, so just type in Zvezda into search on our channel and you will see all reviews. So here we have the contents of this kit. You can notice that everything is separated into several plastic bags. So we are going to start checking them one by one, and gradually we will come to the assembly manual and marking guide and decals and some other stuff which is included here as well. But first of all, I would like to start with the gray plastic sprues. So these ones are separated into two plastic bags which are sealed, and I'm going to open the first one and we will take a closer look. So you can hear that this is quite noisy bag. Nevertheless, it's easy to open or tear apart. And we are going to start with a sprue letter G, as far as you can see. So here it is. Let's zoom in as much as we can. So here it is. Maybe open the lenses a bit. So what do we have here? We have engines. We have also some internal parts for the propeller or for the rotor. We have also some parts for the air intakes. I can see some struts for the internal structure. We have here also one-piece air intake front sections, and in my opinion this is a really great thing because it will make the overall appearance a bit more sophisticated, because you won't have any seams or gaps in such visible places. And here you can take a closer look at these parts. In my opinion, they look great, and do not be fooled by 1/48 scale. As you can see, some of them are really thin. Here is comparison with my fingertip, so that's why you have to be careful while separating them. And of course, if I flip it over, here inside in the engines you can see that there are some guiding elements which will help you with alignment, but still it will be quite a funny thing to combine them into one sole assembly. So obviously you have to do some sanding, maybe use liquid glue which will melt the plastic together, and that might actually help you get a bit more convincing appearance. Next we continue with the connection between sprues. So here you can see it, and I will just put it like this so that we can zoom in and check it closer. So here we have the nose section or the cockpit area. As you can see, it should be glued out of separate panels. We also have pilot seats here, which are quite simple. Here we have the fuselage panels for the nose section. So yes, it will be glued out of separate panels, and that's why you have to be extra careful in this area so that you can get a convincing appearance on your model. And believe me, in 1/48 scale it might be a bit difficult for some modelers who do not have a necessary experience, so be let's say careful with this thing. Even though if I flip it over here, you can see that inside we have some guiding elements, and it will be also handy during assembly of such complex design. Next, we continue with another sprue. Here we have more of a mix of various parts because, for example, you can see the main transport compartment floor. We have also bulkheads, we have landing gear wheels, landing gear parts. We have also some parts for the fuselage panels, and also for the main rotor I can see various actuators and other stuff. So of course for the landing gear wheels, they look fine for the out-of-the-box inclusion, but if you would like to get more, there are some aftermarket sets available which are obviously superior to what you get in the standard package. And also you can see here, for example, some internal panels. They feature some pre-molded details, but of course you can get more with help of the PE parts, which will provide you with a bit more features which are not copied in the original plastic. So let's flip it over. Inside, or from the opposite side, you can see also some structural elements for these landing gear doors. We have the guiding elements for the landing gear wheels in form of these raised edges. They will help you combine them together without overlapping. So overall, it's a well thought kit which should turn into a nice model if you assemble it carefully. But that's not all. As you remember, we continue with fuselage panels. So here both fuselage panels are molded together with tail fins, but without nose section, as you remember. Note that here we have the raised edge, actually not raised but prolonged edge. I think it's better to zoom in so that you can understand what I'm talking about. So it will help you with alignment, because the nose section, as I said before, it will be quite a tricky assembly. So that's why it's better to have as many helping elements as it is possible. Here you can see also some external features such as recessed panel lines and rivets. And if I flip it over here, of course, we also have some guiding elements. But again, I would rather recommend to do some dry fitment of such large parts. And just to give you an idea, here is the length of these parts without the nose section, and also without the main rotor, which will be obviously taking some space. So that's quite a hefty build, and you will have to get some extra space on your shelf in order to accommodate such model. So now I'm opening another plastic bag. You can hear it, so just give me a second. Okay, let's take it out. Okay, so what do we have here? Here we have the side wings, which are usually used for the pylons and armament installation. We also have another panel for the nose section, but I guess this one will not be used because it's for the previous version. Here we continue also with some parts for the external armament, but that's not all. You will see more on the following sprues. And again, if I flip it over here, we have some smart design which will help you with overall alignment of these parts together. Next, we continue with the blades for the main rotor, and I can see also pilot figures here included, which is really nice bonus because nowadays not that many manufacturers actually include the figures even in the smaller scales. But here we have both, and that's really cool in my opinion, and they should look great in the cockpit if you would like to place them. Note that blades, they have the slight bend, just like on the real aircraft, and this is really good feature, which is usually tricky to copy. If you get straight blades, you have to warm them up to bend them, then to try to keep this shape, but here you get it out of the box. And overall thickness, as far as you can see, is really good, so there is nothing to complain about. It's just a matter of installing them into the right space. And frankly speaking, I do not have that much of experience with the helicopter kits, so I wonder how this kit will fare during the assembly in terms of the main rotor. And you remember I mentioned also external equipment, so here it is, the separate sprue for the fuel tanks, rocket launchers, and also you can see missiles here. So all this stuff comes as a standard inclusion, so you don't have to buy it separately. And obviously if you want to get more features, you can get a resin aftermarket, for example, from Edward, but in my opinion, even for the out of the box build, this should be enough. And if I flip it over, here inside you will find that we have again guiding elements wherever it is necessary. So really good design, well thought, and should be easy to work with as well. Next we continue with the separate plastic bag for clear parts. So here we have, as you can guess, canopy parts, and they look great. So here you can take a closer look, and as far as you can see, they should allow you to open the cockpit on your model, which is really important feature in a 1/48 scale. What you will need is the masks set, because not the masks nor the templates are included here, so you have to get them by yourself. Next we continue with decals. So here we get 2 decals sheets. Here's the first one. So let's close the lenses a bit, maybe like this, zoom out. So here we have all main symbols for several marking options. As far as you can see, the most interesting part is that we get a lot of cockpit decals, but still no seat belts. So if you would like to get seat belts, you will have to get them in form of PE parts. But that's not all, because also we have a separate decal sheet for various stencils here. As you can see, it is also good, so it's just a matter of careful application and you will be good to go. Just to show you that all the signs are readable, here is the close look. You can see the comparison with my fingertip. They're really tiny, and yet they all can be read, and you understand what is there if you're understanding Russian. Next we continue with the marking guide. So here we have quite an interesting choice of the markings, because here on the first marking option you can see that this is a completely black helicopter with this bright yellow safety signs, and that's pretty much all, so quite unusual for Mi-35, while these 3 are, I would say, somewhat standard camouflaged versions, but they have quite interesting back history. So if you would like to learn more, I recommend to check it, because there are some I would say interesting stories about this aircraft. So 3 markings in total, not bad for a 1/48 scale aircraft. And that's not all, we continue with assembly manual. So here comes also quite an interesting thing, because usually Zvezda offers various assembly options, and this is not an exclusion. So we can open the engine compartment, transport compartment, and also the cockpit, as far as you can see. So quite a lot of things can be exposed on the finished model. So next we continue with the parts map. Note that unused parts are not shown here, so you have to pay attention for which part is used where. And of course everything starts with the cockpit. You will have the chance to install the pilot figures, but you don't have to. And we assemble gradually the nose section, then we suddenly start working on this main connector to the between the engine and the main rotor, and then we start building the engines, obviously. So all this stuff, I guess, will be handy in case you plan to expose it, because otherwise it will be just a, I would say, extra work to do, because it will be just hidden in the fuselage. The same applies to the transport compartment. As you can see, we have a clear separation between 2 assembly options, so it's better to decide which one you would like to see on your aircraft. And of course, then we enclose everything between fuselage halves. Note that these tail sections, or no, that's nose section panel. Sorry, I confused them with the upside down view of the helicopter. So they are being installed afterwards when we have the fuselage halves glued together. Then we start working on the wings with pylons, front turret. And here again we have assembly option to open the cockpit or close it. Next we continue with the landing gear. And here we have the armament options. So there are several loadouts. You have to pick wherever is suitable for your build ideas, or maybe for your prototype of the marking. And next we continue with various external panels. We start building the main rotor, which is quite an interesting assembly as far as you can see. And next, on the last pages, we have the stenciling guide for this aircraft, so pay attention, install all the symbols, and your helicopter will look even better, because all these tiny writings are always interesting to see on the models. So this kit should be already available, and in my opinion this is a really great option for these modelers who have some experience with such large helicopters. Of course, I'll be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.